I thought that since it's Wednesday, we would stick with a little bit of the news update, show you a little bit of what's new in the world of RuneScape, kind of just show you the week's updates and some of the things that have changed throughout the game. So with that being said, I thought especially now that I'm no longer a hardcore Iron Man, I can really showcase you all of the things that are changing throughout the beautiful world of old school RuneScape, and you can get a look for them yourself if you're not much of a reader, like most of us RuneScape players, and you're more of a visual learner. So I'm going to take you through today's news post, and at the same time, I'm going to show you some of the things that are changing. A lot of this week's updates are beautiful quality of life updates, which I know a lot of you gamers and gamerettes are all about. So miscellaneous quality of life changes. We've got a nice slew of updates added into the game, things that gamers have been begging for months, no, years. No, probably just months. Alright, and the first update for this week is really just adding salt into my wounds, Jagex. Really appreciate you doing this now after I've died and my Hardcore Iron Man collection log series has come to an abrupt halt. And that is a search feature to the collection log. You can now use the search option within your collection log to click on results and view more information. So very similar to how we have like with the combat task interface, you can now search through everything, find whatever item you're trying to search for much quicker. So you can go through category names and easily return to the main page, which they say should vastly improve the collection log experience. So, if we take a quick look at my beautiful collection log of 302 slots, 300 gang, by the way, rise up. I know that's not much, I'm just joking. So, here we go. So, here's our collection log, and look at the beautiful top corner button right there, ladies and gentlemen. We have a search feature. So, you can press tab to toggle it on and off, and you can press the delete to search the fields. If I wanted to go like straight to Barrows, oh, baby, look at that. And it fills in the things you've already found. Now, it doesn't tell you like kill count or anything, but it gives you a nice, quick overview of all the things you're searching for. Like if I wanted to look at my raids loot and how much raids I finished. Oh, you gotta type in the actual name of the raid. Duh, idiot, duh. Chambers of Zarek. Wait, what? Why is nothing popping up? Wait, what? No, it must be. I'm gonna go autoblock mode. It must be a glitch. Alright, now next up is some last man standing changes. So firstly, we've increased the damage from standing in the fog for too long. They're also introducing greater fog, which takes effect from 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. So any player who falls more than 16 tiles behind the fog will now take even more damage than usual. If you were already in the fog, you'll start taking instantly 10 damage. So after 10 minutes in the minigame, the fog mechanics will match their current behavior. Let this be a warning to all you sneaky folks who hide in the fog. Okay, so this guy's just not even trying. Or I'm just the greatest of all time to ever do it. Okay, so maybe I am just the greatest to ever do it. Or maybe I am just the PvP hardcore Iron Man you never knew you needed. Okay, now can I please test out the fog mechanics? I just want to see how the fog mechanics work. So see, here we go. Now we can see the fog approaching. Now we can see we're getting a little red mist of doom. And the farther away we are from the safe zone, the more damage we should start to take now. To really encourage other players, not us, to encourage other players to start heading towards the fights or the action. And to get out of the not safe zone. But we are testing out the mechanic, right? We're testing it out. We're here to see how much damage we can start to take. Oh, here we go. I've taken 1 damage. So now I believe the 16 tiles away you are, now we're taking 2. So the farther we are away from that safe zone, we're going to start to tick up more damage. Now you can see 3. Now you can see, oh, I moved a little bit, so now it stopped. So if we move back just 1 more tile, 2 more tiles, 3 more tiles, there, now we're back in the safe zone. So you don't really quite see where it's at. You don't see the dividend line of when you start to take the most damage. But you can start to see it rack up real fast. So we're going to go ahead and move up a little bit further. And it should stop. And it did. Okay, so there you go. Now you can see the tick damage that you start to take much quicker, much more rapidly, but really the fog still does not seem like much of a threat. Okay, up next we have some combat achievement broadcasts. So for clans and group Iron Man, you now have 2 new settings for PVM notifications. So combat achievement tasks will broadcast, same with the threshold that you have for each of them. So you'll be able to choose which ranks receive different broadcasts, so which achievements you prefer to actually brag about. Same goes for group Iron Man. Now, I can't showcase any of these because I don't have any friends, don't have a clan, and I'm not a group Iron Man. But you can now broadcast your different achievements for the whole wild world to see. But honestly, who asked? Okay, now next we have some forestry changes. You know my opinion on forestry. You know I enjoy it. I'm a casual forestry enjoyer. So, for Forestry, all unique drops now are automatically placed in your inventory from like a random or from other, different Forestry certain events, as long as you've got free space for them, just like everything else in the game. Secondly, the bonus from the Twitcher's Gloves now also apply to redwood trees. I'm not sure why they didn't to begin with, although they do not allow you to have anything besides clue nests, because redwoods only drop nests. You don't get rings or eggs, so even if you have them set on your gloves, it's not gonna freaking matter. And finally, the Dryad now has, basically, she's allowed to not get interrupted by wandering NPCs. So you'll actually get her more often, so they were kind of right. Reddit was right for once. Kind of, dude, kind of. I do miss Forestry. Forestry, when it first released, I know a lot of people were very skeptical about it. I even made a video about how it was kind of like not going to be a big hit, and it wasn't. A lot of people did not like Forestry, but it is very fun and kind of nostalgic for me in a very weird way, because it's the time right when I jumped back into seriously kind of playing RuneScape, making videos again, so it's very nostalgic not only for the channel, but also just for my overall gameplay. Oh, she's dying though. She's dying. No one's helping her. No one's helping her. We got to stand in the correct circle, I believe, to get her to heal, right? Is that it? Hopefully these boys and girls are using Runelight. What's happening? Nothing's happening. There we go. Now she's healing. Now she's healing. Okay, now we're gaming, boys. Okay, so here's the Dryad. We actually found one. I can't believe it. We're standing in our circles. Hopefully we get, what is it, the garland you get for, I don't remember how you're supposed to do this. I don't know what to do. Do you just stand here? I guess so. Everyone else is just standing here. We're just chilling. 271 woodcutting experience. Easy. Oh, you're supposed to stand in the one that's different? How are you supposed to know? I don't know. What? I don't remember what you're supposed to do in this event. I'm just gaining XP by standing in this little spot. That's pretty cool. Forestry's a pretty cool update, if you ask me. Can I just get my reward? How long does this go on for? How long? There we go. Is that it? You've completed my ritual. Amazing. I didn't get anything. I didn't get a reward. I got bark. You completed 7 steps on the ritual. The Dryad has left you a gift. No, she freaking didn't. So a few final miscellaneous other changes. I'm going to actually start from the bottom here, because I think this one's one of the most important ones and one of the major changes that I'm actually really excited about. And that is that when clue scrolls are dropped by a player, they now last 1 entire hour on the ground rather than 2 minutes. Now, that doesn't change behavior for dropping from NPCs or other ways to obtain clue scrolls, but let's say, for example, you're juggling 2 different clues. You can now actually have a chance to maybe manage between the 2, which is kind of interesting, and I think is going to lead to some very interesting strategies when it comes to clue scrolls. Now, I've actually been testing this out for the last 30 minutes. I've been on this world here, well, I guess 25 minutes. So we're back here in the farming guild now. I dropped a master clue. I tested this out. I went heavy with a master clue up here in the corner by the farmer Fran gnome guy. And if this update is true, and if Jagex didn't just frick me out of a master clue, it should hopefully still be here on the ground. Oh, baby, and it is. Okay, so look at that. So now you've actually got a chance to maybe, if you're struggling between 2 clues, you're not sure which one you want to try to do, you can blue skidoo and choose whichever one you want. So there you go. That's a pretty big update. That's huge for clue scroll gamers. All right, and then a few final minor things. They changed some previous PvP combat information, so now it gets wiped upon death, so you're not automatically scolded when fighting again. They finally removed the League's 4 decorations from Lumbridge, which I don't think was a huge deal to begin with, but it really was an eyesore here. Now, the tutor guy is still here, so obviously they leave him in the last place he was from the previous league. That way you know where to go to exchange your trophies or your points for league stuff, but I still think it's kind of interesting that they had all of the decorations. It's almost like they forgot, actually, that all the decorations were still here, because they were complaining about it, on Reddit, of course, that it just looked very unassuming, and Jagex is very particular about how they have their starting area. So I am surprised that they had left it over here for so long. It looks way more clean, but they still have this nerd just chilling. But I need to spend my league points. I don't know what to spend them on, though. I got 13,000. Obviously, you can see my 2 leagues rewards trophies in my face and hand slot right now with my Slayer helmet and my axe. But anyway, And then the last couple of things here, the lightning circle is now brighter and more visible when you're fighting both Calvirian and Vetion. Scrying pools in the player-owned houses can now be used to view lots of different destinations across the game. You still can't go scouting in the wilderness though, but you can kind of see how many people are at least in the area. I think they're probably going to leave it like that because I think it was really kind of, like sea engineer, not that he was abusing it, but it really helped him to scout other people and just instantly, know where they were at to murder them on his hardcore Iron Man. Fixed the bug where teleporting to your POH was impossible when in building mode. Sounds huge. Fixed the bug where buying a major arena cape from Purdue would take the other god capes in the bank and make them disappear. And we talked about the clue scroll one, obviously, and they added some new terms and conditions, but no one's ever going to read them, so miss me on that. And then finally, the last kind of huge piece of news here is that we have the TheBaldMob release date. Now, maybe we already knew this previously, but I sure didn't. And that is that it will be here on March 20th, which is 2 weeks from today. So, they do say that there will be no game update next week. So, as soon as I started this brand new video idea, you're not going to get one next Wednesday, but I'm sure we'll have something new to talk about then, surely. And that's it for me today, gamers. Hopefully you enjoyed this little news roundup. I like this idea because I've always been someone who looks for the news to, know what's coming out next, to know when something's releasing, and sometimes we don't always have that outlet that we need. TheBaldMob in less than 2 weeks. Exciting news. No update next week. Not so exciting news, but that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for sticking around. I better see your ass there when I cover TheBaldMob because I'm going to be covering it like crazy. You don't actually have to bring your ass. Unless you want to.